Let's go. What's up, everybody? It's Derek Tant here in the parlor. What a magnificent room. I love it. I'm smoking today out of my Stanwell poker. Just look at the grain. Look at the little bit of rustication there. Very nice. And in it I've got some Savinelli's Doblon d'Oro. That's Spanish for gold coins. I've got them in a jar here. This is kind of what they look like. Well, like, there we go. Very cool. This is an excellent blend. It tastes sweet and earthy. It's got Virginia, Perique, and dark fired. It's very much as close to the original formulation of Three Nuns as you can get. But I shouldn't even have lit the pipe because I'm going to be speaking and I ain't going to have time to mess with it. This is a video for Danny Shore. Hello, Danny. I hope you're watching. One of Danny Shore's projects that he was trying to do on YouTube before he got sick was he had this book called The Pipe by George Hermant. It was written in 1954 or so, and it's basically a book about pipe smoking. And he just wanted to read it. He wanted to read each chapter. He just wanted to make a series out of it. Well, he has been unable to finish it, and so the lovely Sue Dunhill copied the book and sent it out to the YTPC, and many of us are going to be reading some chapters. You've probably seen it out there. Maybe you didn't know what it was. But Sue sent me a lovely card, sent me some neat little bric-a-brac. Thank you so much, Sue. There was also a ring. Just thanking me for doing this. So, before we get started, I can't smoke, but maybe I can have a little drink. I've got some Evan Williams single barrel from 2010 right here. I might pour a little. Might pour a little bit. So here we go. This chapter is chapter 15. It's entitled The Pipe Rack. Now, if you're not interested in, listening to the book, by all means, that's your prerogative. This is kind of a tribute and a thank you to a fine man, Danny Shore, who has welcomed me into the pipe community, as he has many of you. So this is about 5 or 6 pages. It's not too bad. The Pipe Rack, page 90. Here we go. The pipe rack is an object of great importance from both a moral and a utilitarian point of view. It is commonly made of a strip of wood, about a foot or 18 inches long and 2.5 inches wide, in which a number of slots are cut, as illustrated here, which are to hold the stems of pipes. You can see that there. The strip can be fixed to a wall in a variety of ways, being either attached at right angles to another piece of wood nailed to the wall, or hung on screw eyes, or secured by metal or wooden brackets. It would be difficult to assert that this kind of rack is the best. There are many other types that are more practical, more finished, and more ornamental. It is here described as the simplest. If this type of rack be decided upon, it is essential to see that it is absolutely at right angles to the wall in order to ensure that the pipes do not fall out of their slots. It is better for it to be tilted upward than downward, as shown on page 91. Anything else, appearance or whatnot, is of purely secondary importance to this. And we can see the illustration, the tilting of the rack. Material advantages of a rack. Even as the horizontal is the proper position for a pipe when being smoked, so is the upright position proper for it when at rest. Some captious souls may contend that this depends upon circumstances. One can indeed buy so-called pipe holders in which the mouthpiece is held uppermost. We pass these by without comment, leaving such stupidity to expose itself. You go, George. It is useless to deny that the proper position prescribed above presents certain inconveniences, particularly if the smoker fails to practice the precepts we shall lay down with regard to cleaning his pipe. That's going to be later on page 125. But they are inconveniences for which he will have only himself to blame. This is especially the case when, after a smoke, the pipe is laid down on a table or some such horizontal object, and the nicotine is allowed to soak into the grain of the already heated wood, no trouble having been taken to pass a pipe cleaner through the mouthpiece and the stem. Next page. The stagnation of the nicotine is one of the most vital parts of the pipe causes harm. The stagnation of the nicotine in one of the most vital parts of the pipe causes harm, such as the owners of pipe holders can scarcely have envisaged. The harm can, however, be averted. As soon as the pipe has been smoked, it is restored to its perpendicular position, always supposing the smoker has exercised the usual care demanded of him. If the pipe is put in the rack without being cleaned, the nicotine liberated while smoking drains down inside the stem and collects into a drop at the mouthpiece. Ugh. When the smoker takes up his pipe again, the warmth of his lips will loosen this drop, and he will draw into his mouth enough nicotine to ruin the smoke and make him drop the pipe, spluttering with the foul taste in his mouth. He will be forced to rinse out his mouth thoroughly and will have to clean the pipe no less thoroughly. Even after rinsing his mouth, he will learn to his cost by repeated expectoration, that's spitting, how long it takes for the gustatory papillae to recover and free themselves from the violent compounds of nicotine. What he's saying is that nicotine juice is nasty in the mouth. The pipe rack is an ideal apparatus not only for the calm and methodical smoker, but also, and more particularly, for the careless smoker, for it will force him, if he wants to enjoy his pipe, to keep it in a perfectly clean condition, a habit that may make him impatient at the outset, but to which he will submit willingly when he perceives the excellent results that ensue. There can be little purpose in reinforcing the prejudices of those who look with repugnance upon a pipe and with perhaps even greater repugnance upon its smoker, so we may as well seize this opportunity to liquidate the difficult matter of spitting. A pipe does not make one spit except occasionally when it is lighted, and then it is mainly at the choice of the smoker, and even a habit he may contract. In any event, it causes spitting no more than does a cigarette. The man who spits when he pulls at his pipe is no real smoker. The good smoker does not spit, save for that initial and fundamental expectoration which he may indulge in. Oh, thanks for permission. Spitting must be the outcome of some organic defect in the spitter. As it is well known, the pipe smoker enjoys a perfect digestive constitution, and suppose he does spit, if analyzed, his sputum would be found less noxious than that of a drawing-room tea drinker. Moral advantages of the pipe rack. There can be no doubt that it is more attractive to look at pipes in a rack than to see them jumbled in a box. One of the inconveniences of this latter state of confusion is that the smoker has to examine each separately when choosing one to smoke. The pipes are not ranged in rank before the eye as in a rack where a single glance suffices to pick out the one that's wanted. The given moment calls for its particular pipe. With a box, this quick selection is not possible, even when every pipe answers to its name. Naturally, the question does not arise when the smoker has no more than a mere half-dozen pipes, but for others it is important. There is a psychological moment. when the exact proper pipe in the rack presents itself for smoking. But if it be in a box, one has to rummage about, always with the risk that one of its companions, less suitable for the moment, however excellent may be in itself, may not be taken after all. No such mistake can be made with a pipe rack. On going off to work or for pleasure, there is need only to cast one's eye over the panoply of 50 pipes or so in the racks to pick instantly on the one and only pipe, with its mute and inexplicable appeal, its cry that it wants to be smoked. It may be objected that these remarks apply to briar pipes rather than to meerschaum, porcelain, or other more fragile kinds. That depends on the smoker's character, his way of life, the state of his nerves, and those of his relatives. A pipe box for fragile pipes is all right, so long as one handles the contents with care, especially when the pipes have the stem of a piece with the bowl, as is the case of clay. But the question of choice is no less weighty. For our part, we have resolved the problem of clay pipes in a manner that seems absolutely conclusive, by using screw eyes plugged into the wall as we have below. There you go. That's what it looks like. Screw eyes in the wall. And that's how you hang your clay pipe. The ring supports the pipe by the bowl and averts any possibility of it being knocked or jerked out of the slot of a pipe rack. To ensure greater security, a smaller screw eye can be plugged in lower down to hold the stem. These screw eyes are useful for holding smaller pipes, and it is worth nothing that they can be screwed into a board to keep the pipe safe in the event of moving house. Needless to say, the smoker can modify or improve any one of these methods as seems good to him. The important thing is to have one's whole battery of pipes under one's eye. Even from the decorative point of view, it is better to look at a panoply of pipes than some so-called artistic daub hanging on the wall. Apart from the taste that is peculiar to it, each pipe is associated with its own memories. It is pleasant to enjoy one pipe after another. This one, maybe, recalling some happy event in one's life. That other, bringing to mind the person who gave it. Yet a third, renewing by its smell the memory of a particular place or one particular day. As you smoke, you will contemplate your collection of pipes that by their very existence grow ever more precious and cherished. From its place in the rack, each pipe speaks as does a book from the shelf. Its eager words may be heard and understood only by those who, after much practice, have attuned their ears and their hearts. A pipe can be enjoyed without so much as its being lit. Conclusions. If the truth be told, we ourselves make little use of pipe rack or box. We are content to hang our pipes on nails in the wall. If the nail be long enough and driven in far enough, slanting upward, the rim of the bowl will rest against the surface of the wall and keep the pipe steady. See below. See? You don't need a rack, just a nail. This method must not be taken as a model, however. A simple nail will not hold a new pipe so well while the interior of the bowl retains its polish. But soon as a pipe begins to char, the nail will be quite sufficient, for it will catch better. There are, however, some shapes of bowls, such as the ones that were shown below, that clearly do not lend themselves to this method of hanging, or acrobatics, as one may say. Pipes of this shape should never be kept in some other way, or hung on a nail driven at a much sharper angle. It is clear that the simple pipe rack can be adopted in a variety of designs and alternatives. None of them is perfect, though some attain a near perfection. A tobacco jar may be devoted to this purpose to considerable advantage, and if it be big enough, it will hold a number of pipes of all sorts of sizes. Even the sheath in which the mower carries the whetstone for his scythe can be adapted, or a shell case from the battlefield. There is, indeed, no limit to the choice of suitable pipe racks. And that is chapter 15 of The Pipe. So, my thanks to Sue Dunhill for giving me the opportunity to read the chapter, for Danny Shore, for picking up the book and starting the reading of the chapters. My comment is that it's like he's very passionate, maybe a little snobby for me, because I'm not using pipe racks at the moment. I have these plastic drawers, and maybe I'll make a video on that. So, anyway, thank you all so much for listening. Go subscribe to Sue Dunhill. Go subscribe to Danny Shore. Let him know that you're thinking about him and that you love him. Danny, we love you. We miss you. We hope to see more of you. So God bless you all. And smell my beard.